Hey, hi, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to my first video on this new channel. If you are following my other channel, I just post mainly gaming content, but this one is all going to be about, different tech and computers and such. So the first one, I have this HP laptop, and we're going to, it's an older one. It is the HP Notebook 2000. It has an Intel Core i3-3120M CPU. It is running at 2.5 gigahertz, and it also only has 4 gigs of memory running at 1600 megahertz. And it had an old, I took the storage out because it was just an old hard drive, and it would take at least 10 minutes to turn on. Opening up, this is what it looks like. We got, it's pretty old, so it's a little bit dirty, but yeah. So taking a look at the back, we're going to be upgrading the RAM. We're going to do a 2 4 gig sticks running at 1600 megahertz, and we are going to be replacing the storage as well. So the first thing we're going to do is pop the battery off using that little slider. Then there's this little screw right here that you will need to unscrew, and this will expose the RAM and the Wi-Fi card. So once you get this off, you're going to have to, it'll be kind of, you just pop off. There's a bunch of little clips you'll pop off. But yeah, there's the Wi-Fi card, and there's the little antenna, that little wire that's run into it. And then under this flap, there is your RAM right there. So as you can see, there is one stick in there, and there's 2 clips on the side there. So you're gonna use your finger and pop the clips off. I know it's hard to film and do it with one hand, but yeah, you're gonna pop it up, and then it'll pop up. You're just gonna pull it straight out, and there's your RAM removed. There's that. You can see it's a this is a 4 gigabyte stick, and we're going to be putting in 2 4 gigabyte sticks to make 8 gigs of RAM, which is kind of the basic what you're gonna want for the minimum amount of RAM. Okay, so then next there's 2 slots, one lower and one a bit higher and back and more, and then there's 2 more screws here to expose the hard drive. So we're just gonna remove each of these screws, and then again you're gonna pop up the plastic little clips, make sure they're unscrewed all the way. So that just should pop up. Now this blue thing, it's to hold the hard drive and so that there's no vibrations. We're not going to use that with the SSD because the SSD is slightly bigger. But yeah, here's the new RAM. We got the Ripjaw, which is a 2 by 4 gig kit running at 1600 megahertz. So yeah, it is a Ripjaw by G.Skill. So yeah, so as you can see from here, there is a lower and a higher, kind of like a stair. But yeah, you're gonna line up the RAM to the one side of the notch is shorter than the other side. So you're gonna want to match that up with the notch on your motherboard, and then it'll slide in and then it'll click down. And you're gonna want to make sure you plug it in all the way in. But next, we got the storage here. This is an SSD. It is a 2.5 inch SSD. It has 512 gigabytes, but yeah, so there's 2. Normally on a full-size desktop, there are 2 separate connectors you would do, but on this one, they combined it into one connector, and it's kind of like an L, and you're going to want to match them up. And this was quite hard because the cable's pretty short, but yeah, like I said, we're not going to use that blue thing. And this cable, it's kind of a short cable, but it just makes sure it's plugged in and it'll be fine. The little clip, the door that we popped off that we're putting on right now will hold it in. And as you can see on the door, it actually shows you that it shows you the Wi-Fi and the RAM, or the memory on there. And then this plastic piece shows you on the top, it shows you the hard drive and area, so that you know that this is where that door goes. So then this part, there's just a little crunch. You're gonna line up the clips, and then you're just gonna crunch it down. Now the screws, they might hold you up a little bit because they're not going to be threaded in properly. So what you want to do is when you're screwing the screws back in, you're going to want to kind of screw it one way and then screw it the other way, just to get the threads lined up, and then you can finish screwing it in all the way. And same with the other one, screw it. I would recommend going out, so loosen it until you'll hear a click and it'll pop, and then you could tighten it back down. And then we're gonna pop this other plastic panel back on, just like that. Give it a pat, and then we're going to tighten that screw, and you're done. That's RAM and storage upgrade. So then you're gonna pop the battery back in. Now this laptop hasn't been powered on in a while, so the battery's dead, so that's why it's not turning on right now. So I plugged in the power, and now it should turn on, which it does. So now it said no boot device found. Please install an operating system on your hard disk. So you're gonna need Windows or whatever operating system you want to run, and you're gonna want to plug it, download that, use a different computer, download it onto a USB stick. As you can see, I got another computer, my desktop I'm working on, but I put the install onto that USB drive, and as you can see, it pops right up. Windows 10 setup. There's going to be 64-bit and 32-bit. We're going to rock the 64-bit, but your system might need the 32-bit depending on your system. We're going to hit enter, and it's going to start loading the files. And then it's going to load for a little bit, and then it's going to go through the steps of installing Windows. So you're just going to hit the next, and then you're going to hit install now, and then the setup will start. So now I don't have an activation key for this because I have Windows linked to my account, so when I log in later it will link it to my account. So I just hit that, and then I'm going to select the Windows that I currently own, which is Windows 10 Home. I'm going to hit next, and then I'm going to accept the license terms, and then hit next once again. And then you're going to do custom install, and you're going to select your drive that hasn't been used, or one if it has been used, and you're either going to format it if it has been used or click new if it hasn't been used. And then you're just going to leave that number as is, and then you're going to hit apply, and then it'll ensure it'll create partitions to make sure that Windows works. So you see there's like a 16 megabyte reserve and a 95 megabyte or a 100 megabyte system partition, and then you'll have your primary partition, which is 476 gigabytes, 0.8 gigabytes, or whatever storage amount of storage you have installed. So then you're gonna hit next once again, and then it'll start copying the files and getting the files ready for installation, and then it'll restart. You can also hit the restart now if you don't, you're impatient and you don't want to wait for the 10 seconds that it takes for it to restart automatically. But then, so this will pop back up. So what you're going to want to do is hit escape to cancel, and then you're going to remove the USB stick and then put it aside, and then a boot option will pop up for OS Boot Manager. You're going to click that and hit enter, and Cortana will pop up. You can either turn, I don't like to listen to it, so if you can either turn the volume down or hit the microphone to mute Cortana. I'll just say just a moment. You'll start with your region, and then you'll hit yes. And then to the right, you'll select your keyboard. Yes. It'll ask if you want a second keyboard. Just hit skip if you don't, otherwise you can. And then it'll do some setup. And then add your account. Now I'm gonna add my account now, so then my Windows will link up. And then you're gonna log in. And then you're gonna wanna, I'm gonna turn off all of these because it it just slows down your computer. Here, if you want all of the performance, you could just turn these off. And then hit accept, and boom, right into Windows. So now there is going to be a ton of updates if this is the first time that you've done a Windows install. But as you can see, there's the CPU. No dedicated graphics. There's the memory. As you can see here, we have an issue. Only one slot of 2 is being used on the right, and there's only 4 gigs of RAM. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna hit, I accidentally hit restart, but I meant to hit power down. Remove your battery, wait a couple seconds for all the power to go through, and then install the RAM the correct way by make sure you push it in all the way. And then now you'll see, now it says 2 of 2 slots, and I have available 6.5 gigabytes. And now you're just gonna go through and do all the Windows updates. And if you want, download Chrome. I do not like Microsoft Edge, so I download Google Chrome. And as you can see, while downloading that, Microsoft Edge is trying to get you to continue using it. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If this video gets 5 to 10 likes by the 31st of August, I will upgrade this computer some more. I will get the max supported CPU, and I will put it into this computer, and I'll make another video on how to upgrade or replace a CPU in a laptop. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like if you want to see that future upgrade. Otherwise, comment on what you want to see me do. I do have a desktop, and I can show you how to install a graphics card or a CPU, or I could take apart my desktop and make a video on how to put it back together or install extra RAM or whatever. So just let me know in the comments what you want me to see, and what you want me to do. But until then, hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time. See ya.